I can start. I'll start out and say, it was very productive, very effective off-season. We challenged these guys in every aspect of their life, and they bought in and they listened to everything that we had them do. I will say, hard times, create tough men, and tough men create tough teams. So we put them through a lot of tough times. We put a lot of through stressful environments, but we most importantly, man, we made them compete when they didn't feel good. And I know the world just says, hey, try your best, but the hell with that. We don't believe in that. You know what I mean? And when you win, there is no in between. There's a winner and a loser, and these guys understand that now. I will say they have a better idea when you're trying to win, you got to be selfish. And when we say that, we just mean that, you can't let anything get in the way. Not how you feel, not your emotions, not any external things, really internal things get in the way of winning. So I'm very blessed to see these guys and their confidence, because the work is the work, and how they feel right now in their minds and their bodies and what they can do. But also just letting them just grasp at what the identity of Coach Brown and what we have here at Dart and CCT. So I'll try to answer anything to the best of my abilities that won't bore anybody.
Coach, how nice was it to have the new facility, the Lowry Complex, for this offseason?
Well, because there's so many other things, so many aspects of their training. I mean, we only, the weight room, but then you throw in the nutrition side, you throw in the meals, and then having the better training room. So you just have so many other areas that just go along with the recovery and their process of trying to train to be great. So, it's top notch. We're very lucky, very blessed.
Is there a guy or two whose transformation you are sort of particularly proud of?
It's just they're all trying to work to win. Coach Brown always talks about, you don't work to be average. We're working for a championship, and winning isn't pretty, and neither is the process. So all these guys have embraced the idea. So I will say, the guys that went to the conference of speed, Dan Bellari, Barry Buxton, just mentally and physically tough. And just leadership qualities, just very good. Some young guys. It's hard to pick one, just because it's unfair to a guy that might be faster and stronger. Then you have one guy that's just so competitive, he just never loses. So I know you're probably looking for a name, but I apologize, man. It's tough to pick one.
Fran has talked about wanting to get some big guys in here, and we can see that he's gotten a lot of tall, big guys. How have you kind of tackled making sure they're not only big and strong, but also able to move and be quick on the field?
Well, it's like Coach always says, big people beat up little people. So when they all come in the door, so many things we have to go through. And the first, actually, when the big guys, you got to make sure they can bend. If they can't move, then they can't play. So there's so many things that we go through with them to make sure that they're capable of doing it. But the conditioning aspect of it, the cardio aspect of it, their body fat, their weight loss, weight gain, it's just the whole culture for them is a little bit tougher. But you definitely don't take it easier on them. I know I was mainly with the D-line, the O-line this summer, just making sure we're just putting all the pressure on them possible, because they're the anchor of your team. So they definitely get our attention, but you don't take it easy on them. You got to find out their weaknesses and fix them. So.
Is there any difference between they've had a year under their belt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that change anything for you, that they've been through a year of a progression or anything like that?
Well, their training age, obviously, they're starting to mature, but they also know the standard. They know how we're going to do things. Even like our practices, everybody has an idea now. And when you know the standard, and for us, obviously the standard in the summertime, or in camp, it rises up. So they have a better understanding of what the work is. So when these young kids come in, we kind of separate them to make sure that, all right, this is steps 1, 2, and 3. But these other guys have been around, Derek McDonald, David O, some of these older dudes that just know how to work. They just progress in a manner that you want them to.
For you guys, you brought the number, I believe, is 42 true freshmen in this season. I can't remember what the number was last year, but to have so many fresh new players in, how did you guys kind of tackle that to be able to get them, even in the spring, to be able to get them ready for the fall, and now the fall to be able to get them ready for the season?
When they come in the spring, we try to put them in a little smaller group of older guys, because you do want some older leadership in there to try to help them out some. But we try to just keep them to themselves, and we just try to keep things a little bit more basic for them, like the fundamentals of stuff. When we get into the summertime and they come in later, obviously we send them programs. We're always in constant communication with those guys so they know what to do and know what to expect. But when they come in the summer, we basically have one group that might be 40, 42 people, but it's all younger guys that we can go at a little, not a slower tempo, but we can just teach a little bit more, which along to your question about the older guys that have been around, they know what to expect. We can accelerate things a little bit better. So it's all about just kind of taking your time with them as far as like separating them, because you don't want to throw them to the wolves without them being prepared. I set them up for failure. And so we got to be very careful with how fast we go with those guys, because if they're good enough to play and they're working their butt off out here for coach, they're going to play. It's just our job to make sure their body can withstand any kind of things they go through.
Coach, I think there's like less than a handful of green jerseys to start camp. What does that say about the work your staff has done and the work that the players had put in to get healthy?
You know, let me just say, I don't want to, without recognizing these guys, like Nick Roger, one of the assistants here, he works on their mobility, upper body, lower body. And so, like, mobility is key. And we really focused on that this offseason because our goal is to get guys on the field. You know, God bless them to play, so we got to get them out there. So to see that is good, but the things that they did with Nick, a lot of the extra work, I mean, I hate that the public don't understand, like, what all these guys go through, because everybody says they want to win, but they don't have the will for the process, and the process isn't pretty, and it takes a lot of time demands. So those guys are just come in and do the stuff that we needed to do, but then do extra stuff with Nick. But then you got Coach Hicks, I'm sure you all know him, as far as our upper body strength, you know, shoulder stability. But then JB, I will say, I mean, we went from a 19-mile-an-hour team to maybe 21 to now we're basically a 21 to 23. I mean, we have multiple guys running 23 miles per hour. We have D linemen that are 295 pounds running 20-plus miles an hour. So it's just overall, it's a good feeling because, Coach, I mean, we believe in, you know, training hard. And so when we're out here, we're going fast. So it's a good feeling, like when I said, like their confidence in their bodies that they can go out there and do this. So kind of gives you a little breathing room, like, oh, thank God, because I don't like seeing them green jerseys, buddy. Stress starts to go up for me when you got people ain't on the field.
So long-time college football, I'm aging myself, but
I'm old too, boss.
yeah. So every offseason, we
Great.
look for the Bruce Feldman Freaks list, and that was like a rite of passage for college football. Who would you guys have on that?
You know, I mean, golly, because there's a lot of strong guys. I mean, it's easy to say Tank just because Tank is Wilson. Just he's got all the qualities, upper body strength, lower body strength, and do a lot of things. But then you throw in an older David Reese that also just does some crazy things. But some of these little running backs, I mean, they might be small, but don't put it past them. I mean, again, they're so spread out, and some guys can jump, some guys can squat, some guys can run fast. To say a freak, man, I think they'd all hate me if I just labeled one of them. So I'll let that be somebody's choice after we play Tennessee.
You talked about, you know, those guys, some of the guys on your staff, the work that they do, you know, to help your guys get ready for training camp in the season. What are some of the hidden benefits of that Lally complex that maybe the public doesn't see that really helps your staff get the players ready for the season?
Well, I mean, everything's so close, you know, and you have room now. I mean, we have 120-something players on this team, so you have room to just accommodate everybody. But I think the hidden gems, I mean, they have so many things that they can go in and just kind of relax and take a breather. I mean, as far as like the relaxation room, I never get to go in there. I probably need to. But it's just the fact that everything's right here and that Coach does a phenomenal job of making sure they're here all day. You know, they're treating it like a pro because, again, there's a lot of work that goes into try to win a championship, and that's what we're trying to do is win a national championship. So with them here and having everything right there, the training room here, the nutrition, then it's the weight room, then their locker room. I mean, it's just such an easy cycle for them to hit everything we need them to hit because, you know, it's better than having to walk a long way away, and it's better just to have like, all right, the nutritionist right there. Okay, go see the trainer, and then we all communicate. So that's a tough question to answer, but we're blessed that we have everyone on the same page and everybody right there near each other.
Two more for Coach, and then I'll wrap
A
up.
lot of the conversation is kind of obviously centered around physical strength. I know that's a lot of what you do, if not all of what you do, but how important and how are you impressed by mental strength that you're seeing in this offseason?
Well, I mean, that's who we are. You know, when I say, you know, taking on Coach Brown's identity, you know, Coach Brown is the exact example of mental and physical toughness. But, like, it all starts, you know, up in your mind. So we have to put these kids in challenging situations, and we have to show them how to recover. We have to show them how to respond. And so, training has to be effective, but you have to put them in a certain situation. We put their back against the wall, but it always starts with like relationships. We know their why. Coach does a great job of just saying the right things that they need to hear at the right time, because that T in DART is toughness. And it's often overlooked. It's everybody just throws it around, but it's like you have to earn it, and it's all in the work. And I mean, we say it's about action, and so if a guy hates conditioning, well, that's where we're going to attack him at in conditioning. If a guy can't squat his body weight, then we're just going to make sure we're going to keep attacking him right there when he's doing lower body. But we just do a great job with just from January to now. There's certain lifts that we do. We'll talk about now. I mean, it's all safe. Let me just say that. It's all safe. Safety first. But it's putting them in situations where they start to second guess, do I really want this? And if you want this, you'll do it. If you don't, you'll find excuses. But we don't allow that to happen. So it's the mental toughness. And I tell people, can you break? It's like mental, physical, and a lot of people forget emotional. And when we try to challenge them in every aspect, it's getting to know them so we know what to say. And I have to humble myself. I have to humiliate myself, tell them my story, because stories are very powerful. You can relate to me, then we can obviously work together and go through a lot of it. But you can't be here if you're not tough. And that's our standard, and it's always going to rise every single day. So, no, that was a long answer. But toughness is, I'm more mental than physical. JB, Coach Hicks, Coach Nick, they take care of all the science part. They train them. I blow the whistle and just make sure these guys are following the standard that Coach wants.
To see some of the guys that are coming back from, injuries last year, Devin Grant, he played through his injury, Justice Ross Simmons, Tank. How have you kind of seen them, really take this season head on despite, those injuries or tweaks last year?
Well, I think the culture makes the place great, and they've bought into who we are. So they know now like how to push through injuries. They know how to push mental toughness. So and when these guys are getting older too, they can see it. Like, okay, what do I really want? And your why can be very powerful. And we try to tell people, and this might sound boring to others, but like if you use pain in the right way, if you use setbacks and failure in the right way, which is our job to try to show them how to use, like you can use an injury to push you through any breaking point that you can come across. And so Hatcher, great example. That was a vicious injury. Kids came back strong every day. He's doing extra work, but he knows he's never going to feel good. Devin Grant's one of the guys who was running 23 miles an hour. So, and to be an older guy like that, that's impressive for him to kind of, after that injury and then still run 23 miles an hour. It's just, they see the goal. And again, it goes into like winning selfish. They don't let anything get in the way of winning a national championship, so they know they got to push. But don't mean to sound like a motivational speaker. That's definitely not what it is. Again, it's all in the action, and I just wish you guys could see them from January to now, because we're with them. We see them at their highs, we see them at their lows. So I just thank God for this blessing and Coach giving me this opportunity. You guys asking all these questions, and just excited for the world to see when we run out on the lights against Tennessee. All the work that we've done in the dark. So.
Is Hatcher fully back, or is he sort of working his way there?
I'm sure the man, Coach Brown, would love to answer that question for you. I'm sure he probably could give you a better detailed thing than I would, buddy. So just leave that up to him. He makes those hard calls and hard talks.